You may be curious about what occurs when a submarine explodes, especially in the light of recent disaster with the Titan Submersible and what the crew has experienced. In contrast to an explosion, which is a sudden release of energy, an implosion occurs when a significant force is applied to an item that cannot endure that force and causes it to be crushed. Now, keep watching this video to see what crew of Titan Sub experienced when it imploded. One atmosphere of pressure is exerted on humans standing on the ground at sea level. Because water is far thicker than air, the pressure you feel as you dive into the ocean will be significantly greater. The low air pressure that might be experienced at high elevations can make breathing difficult. If you go very far into the ocean, you risk being crushed by that weight of all that water. You may be familiar with the term uncontrolled decompression. In a movie, you may have seen a villain being pulled through the door of an airliner or being blasted out of an airlock. This is exactly the reverse of a submarine collapsing, but it illustrates the implications of an unforeseen shift in pressure at a pace that human minds can comprehend. On the other hand, in the event of an implosion, the pressure does not escape. Instead, it enters the system forcibly. Additionally, there is an increase of 1 atmosphere of pressure every 33 feet. Therefore, the forces that are involved are often significantly stronger. The forces at play are of very high magnitude. In contrast to aircraft and space shuttles, which are meant to maintain an internal pressure of around 1 atmosphere, 14.7 pounds per square inch, even when the external pressures are reduced, a submarine is designed to accomplish the reverse of this goal. It protects against the forces that come from the outside, allowing whatever is within to maintain the same degree of pressure that you would feel at sea level. In the worst case scenario, the pressure difference that a space shuttle would struggle with is equivalent to 1 atmosphere, whereas a submersible will have to deal with several times that amount of pressure. When the Titanic director James Cameron traveled to the bottom of the Challenger Deep, the pressure inside his submarine reached as high as 15,979 pounds per square inch, PSI, equivalent to around 1,087 atmospheres. An implosion happens when the pressure within a vessel becomes too much to bear and collapses, and there are several potential causes for this to occur. If a submarine is submerged at a depth greater than what it is certified for, it runs the risk of suffering a catastrophic hull collapse and then imploding. When you take a balloon and compress it, the balloon is not robust enough to withstand the pressures you are applying to it, and as a consequence, the balloon bursts. When a submarine is submerged for a greater distance than its collapsed depth, this is basically what happens to the vessel. It is also possible for a sub to suffer a catastrophic breakdown without ever reaching its collapsed depth. Any damage or defects in the design of the vessel might produce a weak spot, which could ultimately lead to the hull failing. What does it look like when something implodes? An implosion is not precisely the kind of event you can blink and you'll miss it when it takes place at great depths. It goes considerably more quicker than that. In less time than it takes for your brain to process what has occurred, a pressure vessel may change from being perfectly fine and fully functioning to a shattered piece of rubble. If you have the misfortune to be inside a vessel collapsing, the event will be finished before you can figure out what is happening. A catastrophic hull collapse on Titan could seem a little bit different than it does on other spacecraft. Carbon fiber, which does not distort like metal, was used to construct a significant portion of the vessel. Instead, once the material's integrity was breached, it most likely fragmented and decomposed into smaller pieces. The implosion of the United States Navy submarine USS Thresher in the 1960s caused a debris field to be created. However, the vessel itself was only broken up into 3 enormous pieces, and the hull did not completely disintegrate. In real life, a failure is less likely to be heralded by a crack that webs its way across a viewport as it does in the movies. Any kind of failure would be immediately apparent due to the forces involved. Everyone who is inside a vessel at the time it implodes will suffer the immediate effects. Organic matter is not constructed to withstand severe pressures. With the pressure shift that is virtually immediate from 1 to hundreds of atmospheres, death may occur before a human central nervous system can even notice anything is wrong. What caused the Titan to collapse? Experts believe that the implosion may have happened on the very first day of the dive, although the specific nature of the catastrophe is still unclear at this time. Titan's construction materials included both carbon fiber and titanium. These materials are believed to withstand the pressure found at a depth of around 4,000 meters, and the hull of the vessel was constructed in such a way that it would protect the crew from the force of the water. Eric Fusil, the director of the Shipbuilding Hub for Integrated Engineering at the University of Adelaide, has said that any deep divers know how unforgiving the abyssal plane is. Going undersea is as, if not more, challenging than going into space from an engineering perspective. Using carbon fiber and titanium for deep diving raises some eyebrows among industry professionals since these two materials have distinct qualities. Why do some experts have doubts about the materials? This is because the two materials each possess their own unique characteristics. Due to its naturally elastic properties, titanium is capable of conforming to a wide variety of loads and pressures without experiencing any permanent deformation in its structure. However, the nature of carbon fiber is such that it is not elastic. Because it is rigid, it may break when pressure is applied to it. According to Eric Fusil, the fact that the two materials were different may have contributed to the construction of a flaw in the hull of the vessel. Experts who hold this point of view assume that an immediate implosion occurred as a result of the flaw that was generated in the hull as a result of the occurrence. However, the specifics of the incident are unknown to everyone. Fusil further believes that the Titan vessel would have folded from all sides within less than a second, being driven down owing to the weight of a 3,800-meter column of water. It is quite probable that the Titan submarine crew perished instantly when the submarine imploded. The implosion would have caused the pressure hull to rupture with great power if it had occurred at the depth at which the Titan was operating. The pressure at that level was comparable to the weight of the Empire State Building. The crew has been subjected to the full force of the water pressure, which has instantaneously crushed them to death. There is no way to know what the crew went through during the implosion, although it is possible that they were conscious for just a fraction of a second before they died. Their corpses would have been quickly crushed and disfigured due to the tremendous force generated by the implosion. However, the sad demise of the Titan submarine serves as a sobering illustration of the perils associated with deep-sea research. The crew of the Titan paid the ultimate price for their expedition, as even the most technologically sophisticated submersibles are not immune to the forces of nature. Leave a comment below letting us know whether you knew anything like this catastrophe might have happened and why you thought it was possible. And that wraps things up. We appreciate you watching this video. Please hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next one.